Hello and welcome back to Fashion with Sort Out YouTube channel. How are we all doing? So in today's tutorial, we are going to be learning how to make this beautiful, gorgeous overlap wrap dress. So let's get started. Previously, I made a tutorial on how to make an overlap dress. And this was the pattern I used in making that beautiful dress. If you haven't seen the video, I'll post the link in the description box so that you can go back to it. So I'm not going to do much of going back to this. I'll just use the pattern I used for that to make this tutorial. Now this is my back pattern and here is my front pattern. I'll just make some little explanation of what I did so that we won't get ourselves confused. So to my back, for our neckline, I made use of 3.5 width by 1 inch depth. Do we get? So we are making use of 3.5 width by 1 inch depth for the back panel, for the back pattern rather. And so for the front, I'll just make an explanation of this also. So I use my back pattern to cut the front, but in cutting it, I flinged this open and then extended the center of the pattern by 6 inches. So that's the 6 inches right there. So from the neck of 3.5 width, I just drew it down to meet the 6 inches extension I made at the center. Do we get? And that was how I cut the front. Now in cutting the collar on this particular dress tutorial we are doing, what I would do is measure what I have as on the front. Do you get? On the overlap, so I got 21 inches. So and that is what I'm going to be using to cut the collar. Do we understand? So now what I will do is fold my pattern paper into two, just as you can see, so such that I'm cutting on fold. Now since what we need is 21 inches, I'm going to make it 22 inches so that we'll have 1 inch as sewing allowance. Now I'm going to mark out 11 inches. Remember I said I'm cutting on fold, as you can see. So I folded it and then marked out 11 inches and then as the length on fold. Then I have 2.5 inches as the width of the collar, and that is what I'm going to mark on the paper, on the pattern paper, just as you see me do. So next thing I'm going to do is make a connect of the markings, and then after doing that I'm going to cut it out and show you how it's going to be placed on it. Our collar is set. So what I'll do is just to show you how to place it. Do you see the way it's being placed? So that's the exact way I'm going to sew it on the main fabric. So we have our back, we have our front, and also our collar. So now this is the fabric I'm using for this project. Then before we proceed to cutting the overlap, the upper part, I want to cut the down part first. Now because of the volume of the fabric, I had to place it on the floor so that we can have a better picture of what I'm doing. Now I have my fabric folded into two, as you can see, and then I measured what I have at the edge of, I mean this side. I want to have equal length and then make a cutout so that we can have a better picture. So at the parts of it I have 41 inches. So I want to ensure that I have 41 inches in a square shape. Do we understand? And so now I've cut it out and I think we have a better picture of the fold now. Now I'm going to fold it again in a semicircle way. We are not using a full circle skirt. We are cutting it in a semicircle way, and this is what informed what I folded in the first place. Remember that I said that after I folded it into two, I add 41 in the square manner. I add 41 inches all round. Now it's folded in a semicircle way, And so I'm going to just explain and inform you on how I did the calculation. The half length we worked with is 15.5, and then the total length of the gown that we are working with is 53 inches. You remember, it is not a full length gown, so we are making use of 53 inches length. And so that was why in folding I added the 6 inches extra. I added to the center of the pattern, of the front pattern, while I was drafting it. So that is 6 inches extra on each lap. That will give us 12 inches. So this 12 inches is added to our waist of 33 inches. So that's plus 12, that gives us 43, right? I then divide it by 3.16. This is semicircle we are making use of, and that at the end gave us 13.9. Then I want the length of the skirt to be 27 inches, so I added it together, and that was what informed the 41 inches with which I folded the clothes. I hope we understand. Now what I'm going to do now is mark around the 13.9 inches, which is our waist radius. So I'm going to mark it out, and after, what I will have left is 27 inches at that edge where I place my tape rule. I hope you can see. So now, after that has been done, I will just mark around the 41 inches on the semicircle fold. Do we get? And then that is how we'll get our skirt, the skirt of the dress. And with this dress, if you look at it, it has three we are working on three parts: the half length, the skirt length, and the flounce length, the flounce part rather. So now this is the skirt, the circular skirt part that I'm cutting out. We'll still make some adjustments so that it will be able to accommodate our flounce. I hope you get it now. So that is what I'm cutting out now. The skirt part has been cut out. I'll cut the waist part also, and at the end of the day, like I said, I have 27 inches length. So after this has been done, the next thing I'm going to do is I'll just open the skirt in the way you see it, and then I will notch the 6 extra. I will notch the center, and then the 6 extra inches that we add on the two sides of the overlap, I'm going to measure it out and then notch that part. It's from there that we'll make a cut that will accommodate the flounce. If you look at it, that the back is longer than the front with the flounce. So I mean the skirt part of the dress is longer at the back than the front. So what I'm going to do is come down to the hem of the skirt and then go inward by like 12 inches. I'm just trying to impute this first. If there is a need for us to still cut out, we will. So from that place, I'll come to the edge, to the waist side, and then make a curve to the 12 inches inward mark that I made. And then after that has been done, I'm going to cut it to see if we have if it's enough for the flounce to be accommodated. So at the waist, at the hem also, I'll come up by 3 inches, and then that is where I want the curve to be. I'm using my curve ruler to just curve it down to that, so that it will give us that curve shape that we have at the front. Guys, I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. So now we won't tamper with the waist at all, because all that we needed was what we measured out to cut the skirt. So from that waist side, you just curve it down to the 12 inches cuff we made. Do we understand? So I'm just going to cuff it in a stylish manner like that. It's not straight, it's curved. So after doing this, I want to be sure that what I have is curved enough, and by the time we had 10 inches flounce to it, it will still give us the length that we desire, and it won't be longer. So that's the 6 inches that I marked, that I just marked. I'm going to notch it. So the 6 inches is the overlap side, and then I'm notching the center of the dress also, so that by the time I open it, I will be able to place it well as it ought to be. Do you see the way I folded it? So after I folded it, I see that the cuff is not enough. So what I'm going to do now is pick my scissors again and make the cuff, so that at the end of the day, the flounce will come out as it's desired. So now I'm just using my discretion. I'm not marking it out again this time. I'm just using my discretion to go inward until I have what I desire. Mind you, this is just one side of the lap that I'm cutting. So what I will do now is face each other together like I have it now. Do you see it? I'm going to make sure that they face each other, the edges, and then the excess that I have on the other side, I'll cut it out. I hope we can see the difference now, in the length. So it's longer at the side than the other. So I'm going to just place it well so that we can have it at equal length. So now I'll pick the scissors and also cut it so that we'll have it at the same length with the other side of the lap. And this is the skirt part. I've also cut the flounce. Of course, I made a straight cut. I'm going to be pleating it on the skirt. Do we get I'm making use of four yards of this flowery material. So because it's just 4 yards, I couldn't cut the flounce as I'm supposed to cut it. I just cut it straight so that the material will be enough. Now we have the skirt parts ready, and you can see the difference between the back and the front side, so that by the time we place our flounce, we'll have the accurate shape, coffee shape, as you see it in the picture. Now moving back to the table, I have cut everything needed for the front, the back, and also I have cut the collar with everything with my pattern paper, just like I said that for the flounce. So I'm making use of a straight cut, which I'm going to pleat on the skirts. Do you see it? So this is what I cut out. I'm going to join everything together and then join it to the skirts. I've also cut out my straight belts, my belts that I'm going to join to the skirt. Now I've fixed the collar. I just stop stitch it, as you can see. What I will do next is I will open the front as it is and then place it, open the front and place the back to the front of the clothes. I hope I didn't confuse you. So now what I'm saying in essence is I open the back of the front and then place the collar on it, and so the next thing I'm going to do is stop stitch it so that the collar will flame to the front. Do we understand? I hope I didn't confuse you with my explanation. So now by the time you open it and top stitch, you will cover the sewing. You can see I have the collar in excess. Now it is after everything has been joined that it will be cut. Do you see it? I have top stitched and I've ironed it. You can see the way the collar is resting well. I'm placing the other side on it in an overlap manner so that the excess can be cut out. Now to the back, I have cut out the facing and also fixed it to the back, as you can see. Do you see it? So I've placed it. What I'm going to do now is join the front lap, the front sewing to the back. Sorry guys. So I'm joining this front sewing to the back so that we can have our upper body ready. And if you notice that the excess that I said I will cut, I haven't cut it out. I want to join the front to the back first so that it can be we can be able to cut out the excess without we altering anything. So now I'll go back to my sewing machine and then join everything and come back to show you how it is. Now it has been joined. You see how neat and beautiful it is. I have also cut out the excess, and so we're having the same length of the back with the front. Now to the skirt part. What I will do is join all the straight cuts and then afterwards pleat everything on the skirt part. And then I have done that. The skirt part has been, the flounce, I call it flounce, but it's a straight cut that I gathered. It has been joined to the skirt, and this is how it came out, as you can see. So what I will do next now is the side of the flounce will not be joined to the upper body. So now we are still using this the normal waist. So the sewing, the joining of the upper part is starting from the edge of the waist, the normal measurement we add, so that joining, the pleated part will now fall on each other, and then we'll have it this way. Do you see? I'm trying to fold it so that we can have a clear picture of how it came out. And so I'm going to join the upper parts and come back to show you how it is joined. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So the sewing will start from that edge, not the edge of the flounce. That's what I'm trying to explain. You see the way I edit. So the sewing will start from that edge, not the edge of the flounce, to the other edge of the skirts. Okay guys, I have joined the skirt parts to the upper part of the dress, and this is how we have it. This is the outcome. Now I'm trying to overlap place each lap on each other, and that is how it is. Now to this side of the opening, there is an hole through which the belt will travel through to be passed to the back. So this is how I'm going to fix the belts to each side of the dress. Okay, I'm just going to place it not on the flounce, just like I said, but from where the joining of the upper part starts on the dress also. Is not to the flounce, but so you can see where I'm holding. I'm just going to place the belt in on that part and on the other side, and then the belt will travel through the hole. I'm trying to show you the hole through which the one side of the belt will travel through. It will run to the back to be tiled at the other side of the dress. Do we get? So I'm just going to go and join everything and come back to show you how it is. Guys, if you have stayed to this time, it shows you got value watching this video. Don't hesitate to give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, do well to subscribe, like and share our videos. Now this is the final look of the dress. Very beautiful, right? Thank you guys for staying true. See you in my next tutorial. Bye.